Hi everybody, it's week 27 and we're doing the early believers, okay, yep, and we're going to talk about sharing today. Who do you guys share with? Naomi. And do you share with Melanie? Yeah? And do we share with our friends and people at school and our family? So we're actually going to do our rhyme and then a prayer, and then we'll read our story about the early believers. I share with you and you share with me. God's people are a big family. We show love for God as we love one another. All of God's children are sisters and brothers. Dear God, thank you for our friends. Thank you for people who share with us. Please help us to share too. Amen. All right, so let's read our story, the early believers. Let me get to it. There we are. Some of the early believers were great at sharing. They shared their food and their clothes. They shared their money and their homes. They were so generous. No one was poor or needy because others gave without holding anything back. Together they saw many miracles and wonders. They met in the temple and they met in their homes. They talked about Jesus and they thanked God for blessing them. Then something amazing happened when other people saw how happy these first believers were, sharing all they had and talking about Jesus. They believed too. They became Christians and they shared their food and their homes, their clothes and their money, and they became one big Christian family, and their church family grew and grew and grew. It says here, try sharing your happiness with others. Think of something happy or exciting to tell 3 friends or family members. So let's read our little rhyme to help remember the story. Hungry, cold, clothes are torn, need to buy some bread or corn. The early believers in Jesus shared food, clothes, and everything else they shared. So let's read our faith on the go. It says, pretend that you are an early believer. Sing and pray joyfully as you share a meal. Hey Mel, who's in our church family? Who's in our church family? Do you know? God, yeah, God and Jesus. Yep. And we also have the pastor. And the deacon, who is also our organist. Well, no, the pastor isn't God. The pastor tells us about God and Jesus and what they want us to know. And then we also have our choir and other families and kids. So let's look at these pictures, Mel. Let's see what our church family does together. Okay? What are they all doing? We have a picture where 2 little girls are reading the Bible. So we read the Bible together. There's a family singing. We sing hymns. There's people eating a meal together. So they might be having a picnic. We have a church picnic. And we have our church Christmas party where we eat together. And we eat at Shrove Tuesday where we have pancakes. And we have our Easter breakfast. It'll be fun when we get to do that again, right? And we have money here. So some people give money to the church, or they might give their time or talent. Some people are good at singing, so they might sing in the choir. Or maybe they want to help be an usher, so they give their time to do that. And some other things that we can do at our church is we can give food, because we have a food pantry. So that's one way to also share. But there's also other ways you can share in our community, right? If you have extra clothes or clothes that don't fit anymore, you can give your clothes to a charity, or toys that you don't play with anymore, you can give those away, because it's good to share, because not everybody has everything that we have. Some people don't have clothes, and some people don't have enough food. Some people don't have toys, right? And they need help, or they don't have enough money. So that's why when you have more than enough, you share with people that don't have enough. And that way everyone has some. Right? Is that what sharing is? Yeah. So let's say you didn't have any food. Would you want someone who has a lot of food to share with you? Yeah? Yeah, that's what sharing is. So let's do our rhyme to remember our story, okay? I share with you. And you share with me. God's people are a big family. We show love for God as we love one another. All of God's children are sisters and brothers. So let's do our little prayer. Thanks, God, for Jesus.
Mommy.
And our friends. And thanks for helping us share.
Yeah.
Help us to serve you every day.
Every day.
We love you.
We love you.
Amen. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week and talking about sharing.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We hope to see you next week.